Hey friend, if you saw my video on how I got into sports photography, you know that in 2007, that's when I got my start. And those three images you just saw, those are three images I took back in 2007 and represent very well how poor of a sports photographer I was. I admit it, my photos were terrible. Probably about 85% of my photos looked like the ones you just saw. But I got better. And to demonstrate that, let's take a look at some more images I took in 2007 and compare them to about 2019. I tried to find photos that were similar in action so that we could do a good comparison of between back then and how things look now. So let's jump right into that. Okay, first we're going to take a look at a basketball photo I took, and I want you to first notice the settings. ISO 1600, 1/200th of a second for the shutter speed. That's crazy insane. Now you're probably wondering, well, Craig, why didn't you up the ISO? Well, that's because I could not do that. I was using a Nikon D70 camera. The highest ISO was 1600. So I had to lower the shutter speed in order to get enough light coming in the camera to make the image. And yeah, this is what it looked like. Now to make things fair, I did do a quick edit. So let's get to that. I did lighten it up, make it look a little better so we can compare it to this image I took in 2019. I have an ISO of 3200, an f1.8 lens, which is great, 1/800th of a second. I was just starting to use this camera and lens combination, so usually I would shoot at a higher shutter speed, but this time I did not. If we look at this one, you can see it's just fuzzy, it's not great. I'm not even sure what's actually in focus. So what we can do a side-by-side comparison. And you can see right away there's a big difference. Even after editing this one, it still just isn't that great. Now, aside from the ISO shutter speed issue I had back in 2007, what you also notice is I'm standing up when I took the image. So one of the big things I learned is you don't stand up. You sit down and get as low as you can to take the image because it makes for a more dramatic image. That's what the one on the right is right here. It looks a little more exciting. It draws you in a lot more as opposed to the one on the left, which is, yeah, it's okay. That's about all I can say. It's okay. It's not that great. So next up, we're going to take a look at some football photos. Immediately, you can see this one just sucks. Just comparison right away. This one is terrible. I'll just say it. I'm not sure what is in focus. I don't see anything even in the background that's in focus. So I don't know where the focus was. You can see, I want you to check out the settings. This just slays me. ISO 1600, which we know I can't do anything about, but why was I at 1/4000th of a second for the shutter speed at 2.8? What is going on? Yeah, it's just lousy. I'm going to move on. Let's move on from that one. As opposed to this one. And again, this one over here, one more time, I'm standing up. So I'm kind of at the eye level. In the photo over here, I am on my knees. So I have an ISO at 1270. And the reason it's at 1270 because it was kind of a cloudy day and the sun was coming in and going out. So I used auto ISO. I don't use that very often, but in this case it was needed. I'm at a shutter speed of 1/1000th of a second, which is great for freezing the action, which you can see this action is frozen. And it's nice and sharp as well. And that's part of the high shutter speed. It also gives you sharper images. Again, this photo was taken in 2007. This is taken in 2019. You can see the difference. I showed you these images because I know many of you are frustrated. You take some images, you get home, you think these are going to be great. You look at them and you're like, I suck. I'm giving up. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to do something else. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go sell cardboard. I don't know. I need to do something else because I can't take images, but you can't. It's really simple. All you have to do is learn your gear inside and out. The gear out today is really good. It's amazing. Even the lower end stuff you can do some great things with. And you need no composition and your exposure. You get those things down, yeah, your images are going to be great. You're going to see a comparison similar to this to where they just suck, they're crappy, to where you're like, yeah, now that's a great image. I would print and put on my wall. If you haven't seen my video on how I got into sports photography, go ahead and check out this video here. And if you want to learn about which camera I think you should purchase, go ahead and check out this video here. And as always, get out and shoot.